What are the characteristics of a change agent in education? These characteristics pertain to lifelong learning, being eager to learn and reflective, mastery, giving guidance, being accessible, positive, committed, trustful, and self-assured, entrepreneurship, being innovative and feeling responsible, and collaboration, being collegial. Moral purpose keeps teachers close to the needs of children and youth. Change agentry causes them to develop better strategies for accomplishing their moral goals. Those skilled in change appreciate its volatile character, and they explicitly seek ideas for coping with and influencing change toward some desired ends. Welcome to SUYA e-learning for food security climate change, school feeding program, nutrition education for all. When you have bad governance and poor accountability from your local government leaders, then you are doomed to live under control of cartels and fools. We hope you subscribe to our channel YouTube at SUYA Mombasa and share this link with your friends or family. Educators, you are the hope you've been looking for. Have you ever wondered what it would look like for you and your colleagues to really change how things are done in your school? Change starts with me. Resourcefulness. Using power to make a difference. Using stories to create change. Making sense of complexity. Teachers as educational change agents, what do we currently know? What is the hunger cycle? A lack of healthy food and proper nutrition can trap households in a cycle that depletes their physical and financial resources. When an individual or family becomes food insecure, many times their only option is to buy cheaper foods with low nutritional value. Hunger and health are linked in a vicious cycle that can have long-term consequences for individuals and communities. Malnutrition hunger can lead to malnutrition, which can cause stunted growth, impaired development, and a weakened immune system. Malnourished children are more likely to die and are at a higher risk of developing chronic diseases as adults. Mental health food insecurity can increase stress, depression, anxiety, and hypertension. Food security operates within a neoliberal framework, prioritizing large-scale production, market distribution, and corporate involvement to increase global food availability. In contrast, food sovereignty emphasizes localized, community-controlled food systems to address the shortcomings of food security. Food security is a measure of an individual's ability to access enough nutritious food, while food sovereignty is a more holistic approach to food that considers the cultural, spiritual, and relational aspects of food. What is the challenge of zero hunger? The Zero Hunger Vision is comprised of 5 elements which, taken together, can end hunger, eliminate all forms of malnutrition, and build inclusive and sustainable food systems. What are the 5 elements of the Zero Hunger Challenge? The Zero Hunger Vision calls for a world in which everyone has stable access to adequate food and nourishment all year round. No child less than 2-year-old is stunted, smallholders' productivity and incomes are at least doubled, all food systems are sustainable, and food loss and waste are eliminated. How can we solve zero hunger? Keep our soils and water clean. Use less water. Know where your food comes from. Support local food producers. Pick ugly fruit and vegetables. Be a conscientious consumer. Understand food labeling.
Is the world's life-changing for the children, giving the very poorest families a powerful incentive to keep their
First, land cover as shaped by land use practices affects the global concentration of greenhouse gases. Second, while land use change is an important driver of climate change, a change in climate can lead to changes in land use and land cover. Overall, our study shows that the combined effect of climate change and land use intensification will affect biocrust cover and composition, which may have strong negative impacts on biogeochemical cycles, water availability, soil stability, and the solar radiation budget, with potential feedbacks to future climate. Primary succession is a natural ecological process that occurs in environments where severe disturbances have left landscapes barren and devoid of life. The process of primary succession involves the step-by-step development of communities on newly exposed substrates, driven by the interactions among colonizing plants, animals, and soil microbes. Did you know? The time needed to form soil depends on the latitude and can take hundreds of years. In mild climatic regions, it takes 200 to 400 years to form 1 centimeter of soil. In wet tropical areas, soil formation is faster, as it takes 200 years. And it takes 3,000 years for natural soil to accumulate enough organic substances to make it fertile. Secondary succession happens when a climax community or intermediate community is impacted by a disturbance. This restarts the cycle of succession, but not back to the beginning. Soil and nutrients are still present. For example, after a forest fire that kills all the mature trees on a particular landscape, grasses might grow, followed by shrubs and a variety of tree species, until eventually the community that existed before the fire is present again. Carbon credits are permits that allow the owner to emit a certain amount of carbon dioxide or other greenhouse gases, GHGs. 1 credit allows the emission of 1 ton of carbon dioxide or the equivalent of other greenhouse gases. Carbon credits are also known as carbon allowances. Translocation differs in that the material is not removed from the soil, instead it moves from one location to another. This internal movement can be divided into alluviation, movement into, and alluviation, movement out of. Alluviation is the process by which a material is removed from a zone. Food forests are 3-dimensional designs, with life extending in all directions, up, down, and out. Generally, we recognize 7 layers of a forest garden: the overstory, the understory, the shrub layer, the herbaceous layer, the root layer, the ground cover layer, and the vine layer. Conceptual illustration highlighting plausible mechanisms of action of seaweed extract with respect to fungal and bacterial disease control. Seaweed extract may affect directly pathogen agents or indirectly through eliciting the plant defense machinery. Such elicitation occurs via the upregulation of several defense genes, thus positively affecting specific metabolic pathways, namely the phenylpropanoid pathway, which induce the biosynthesis of several secondary metabolites involved in disease. Suppression: Ja, jasmonic acid, Sa, salicylic acid, Pal, phenylalanine ammonia lyase, CHS, chalcone synthase, CHR, chalcone reductase, IFS, isoflavone synthase, IFR, isoflavone reductase. Doses of fulvic acids and lowest of seaweed extract generated the best biomass yield. Lowest dose of fulvic acid produced the highest essential content and yield. Lowest dose of fulvic acid provided the highest thymol content. Some chemical parameters were negatively affected by seaweed extract and fulvic acid. Does fulvic acid cleanse the liver? With fulvic acid, vitamins and minerals are more readily taken up and used by your body, ensuring that your detoxification engines, like the liver and kidneys, are well fueled for maximum performance. Protection against environmental stress. Fulvic acid helps to protect plants from environmental stress by providing them with the nutrients they need to survive. It also helps to improve the absorption and use of these nutrients by the plant. This allows plants to better withstand stress and remain healthy. Decrease toxins. Fulvic acid can also help to reduce the number of toxins that are present in plants. This is because it helps to bind and remove these toxins and heavy metals from the plant's tissues. Fulvic acid also helps to improve the plant's ability to detoxify itself, which reduces the amount of stress that the plant experiences. It also enables the soil to hold more water and restrict toxins in the soil, reducing the harmful substances. Fulvic acid is the most powerful natural chelating agent. Fulvic acids have a molecular size ranging from 1,000 to 10,000, they are more chemically reactive. Their small size means that they can rapidly enter the plant. Increased root health, root proliferation is benefit of fulvic acid. Multiple studies have shown that fulvic acid stimulates root growth and increases branching and root hair development. Increases the nutrients absorption. It acts as a chelating agent, forming complexes with nutrients such as iron, calcium and magnesium, which facilitates their absorption by plants. This optimizes the availability of essential nutrients for the growth and development of crops. Improved nutrient uptake. Fulvic acid enhances the mobility of nutrient ions in the soil, allowing them to move more easily to plant roots. This, in turn, improves the uptake of essential nutrients by the plant. Facilitation of transport. Fulvic acid can also facilitate the transport of nutrients across cell membranes in plant roots. Its small molecular size and water solubility contribute to the efficient transfer of nutrients from the soil solution into plant cells. Stabilization of nutrients. The chelation provided by fulvic acid stabilizes nutrient ions, preventing them from becoming unavailable due to precipitation or fixation in the soil. Antioxidant properties. Fulvic acid's antioxidant properties may play a role in protecting plants from oxidative stress, contributing to overall plant health and resilience. Fulvic acid acts as a carrier for nutrient ions, enhancing their solubility, mobility, and uptake by plants. This process is vital for optimizing nutrient availability and promoting plant growth. How does fulvic acid help with drought and heat stress? Crop growth and yields are negatively affected by heat and drought due to physical damages, physiological disruptions, and biochemical changes. Crops respond to heat and drought stress through metabolic processes that change the concentrations of soluble sugars, proline, soluble proteins, and increased levels of polyamines, antioxidant capacity, phenolic compound, and abscisic acid, ABA. Gaining the farmer trust. Meeting farmers' requirements is vital in the success of any given agri-input, which can only be achieved through adopting a farmer proximity approach focusing on field demonstration, education as well as generating data specifically tailored for the end customer. Furthermore, future research dealing with SE must focus on providing a manual of good farmer practices consisting of the best method of application, rates, frequencies, and time of application, etc. This would be the missing piece in the way of exploring the high potential of SE and harmonizing their final effect under different environments. The currently changing climates and environments place plants under many types of stresses that affect both their survival and levels of chemical defenses. Auxins are a group of naturally occurring and artificially synthesized plant hormones. They play an important role in the regulation of plant growth. Auxin, a plant hormone, regulates virtually every aspect of plant growth and development. Plant hormones are a group of compounds that play a significant role in the growth and development of plants. They include auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, abscisic acid, brassinosteroids, jasmonic acid-related compounds, and ethylene. What is the function of gibberellin? Gibberellins, structure, function, and its applications. What is the main function of gibberellins? Gibberellins are plant growth regulators that facilitate cell elongation, help the plants to grow taller. They also play major roles in germination, elongation of the stem, fruit ripening, and flowering. What are 3 uses of gibberellins? Gibberellins can be used to end seed dormancy, promote flowering, increase fruit size. Coconut water, CW, naturally contains phytohormones called cytokinins, which exist in different forms like kinetin, kinetin riboside, and zeatin. The bioactive cytokinins in plants are the zeatin type, and these natural compounds exert many vital plant physiological effects. Plant growth from coconut water. The results also showed that coconut water has comparable properties to commercial rooting hormones. Rooting characteristics of Rhizopora stylosa hypocotyls was enhanced when soaked in coconut water within 4 to 6 hours before planting. Here are 7 health benefits of coconut water. Good source of several nutrients. May have antioxidant properties. May help lower blood sugar for people living with diabetes. May help prevent kidney stones. May support heart health. Beneficial after prolonged exercise. Delicious source of hydration. A compacted soil has a reduced rate of both water infiltration and drainage. This happens because large pores more effectively move water downward through the soil than smaller pores. In addition, the exchange of gases slows down in compacted soils, causing an increase in the likelihood of aeration-related problems. How does soil density affect water infiltration? As a soil becomes wet, the infiltration rate slows to a steady rate based on how fast water can move through the saturated soil, the most restrictive layer, such as a compacted layer, or a dense clay layer. Soil organic matter binds soil particles together into stable aggregates, increasing porosity and infiltration. There will come a time when only those that know how to plant will be eating. Chief Oran Lions. If you like African food systems content, please subscribe and share our channel with your friends and family, or if you're new here, hit the subscribe button so you make sure to never miss our weekly presentation podcast. Agriculture is tool to create health, wealth, shelter, protect environment, food, nutrition and basic skills development for our local communities. Abiotic stress is the adverse effect of any abiotic factor on a plant in a given environment, impacting plant's growth and development. These stress factors, such as drought, salinity, and extreme temperatures, are often interrelated or in conjunction with each other. Abiotic stress refers to the adverse effect of any abiotic factor on a plant in a given environment, resulting in a range of responses, from changes affecting biological processes such as gene expression and cell metabolism to growth and development. Abiotic stress can be defined as the negative effect of inorganic factors on living organisms. High temperature or low temperature, salinity, drought or flooding, nutrient deficiency or metal toxicity are a few of the major abiotic stress conditions a plant faces daily during its life cycle. What is abiotic stress in crop species? Abiotic stress has a high impact on crop growth and productivity, either in single forms or in combined forms. For example, drought stress causes a decrease in leaf area, plant height, and crop development. Cold stress reduces plant development and crop efficiency, resulting in productivity loss. Potassium silicate helps plants to resist toxicity from phosphorus, manganese, aluminum, and iron. Increases salt tolerance. Aids in resistance to drought by reducing water loss. Potassium silicate offers growers these performance benefits. Provides resistance to mineral stress. Decreases climate stress. Prevents insect damage from sucking insects. Reduces fungus damage by preventing fungus from penetrating leaf surface. Improves strength. Increases growth and yield. Reduces stress from heavy metal toxicity in soils. Control root knot and sting nematodes. Improves leaf erectness, reduces susceptibility to leaf lodging in grasses family. Improves photosynthesis efficiency. What are the abiotic stress signaling in plants? As sessile organisms, plants must cope with abiotic stress such as soil salinity, drought, and extreme temperatures. Core stress signaling pathways involve protein kinases related to the yeast SNF1 and mammalian AMPK, suggesting that stress signaling in plants evolved from energy sensing. What are plant physiological responses to abiotic stress? Physiological responses to drought, salinity, and heat stress. To cope with this condition, plants have evolved a series of morphological, physiological, and biochemical responses, including changes in photosynthesis, respiration, ion exchange, transpiration, osmotic regulation, activation of drought-induced proteins, and antioxidant enzymes.
Boost beneficial bacteria in the soil, which is great for plant growth. Once the potatoes are boiled, let them cool down before moving on to the next step. Next, we are going to take a handful of sea salt. Why sea salt? It's packed with trace minerals like magnesium, calcium, and potassium, which are all essential for healthy plant growth. It gives the fertilizer an extra nutrient boost. But remember, only a small amount of salt is needed, just a handful. So don't overdo it. Now comes the compost. Compost is already rich in nutrients and full of microorganisms that improve soil health. We're going to take an equal amount of compost as the potatoes and add it to our mixture. Compost will help balance out the fertilizer, making it nutrient-dense and full of life. Now you can make a little sack or bundle by tying the cheesecloth securely. To make sure the pouch sinks in water and releases the nutrients properly, add a stone or some weight inside the bundle. This will help keep it submerged while it ferments, ensuring that all the good stuff gets into the liquid. After the pouch is ready, take about 3 liters of water. It's important that the water is non-chlorinated because chlorine can kill off beneficial microbes that we want to thrive in our fertilizer. Drop the pouch into the water. You'll need to use a container with a loose-fitting lid because during the fermentation process...
What does rice wash contain? It contains enough NPK or nitrogen N, phosphorus P, and potassium K fertilizers, which are the essential nutrients needed by all plants. The strained water after boiling rice is also beneficial to plants, and it contains more nutrients than the rice water derived from only washing. Can salt water be used as fertilizer? Ocean water is therefore rich in minerals and nutrients that otherwise may not exist in the soil. In fact, ocean water contains all trace minerals. Ocean water, both oxygenated and alkaline in pH, can be added to acidic soils to improve conditions for growing plants. Salt is critical for the movement of water through the soil to the root system. It draws water to the root system. Only when it is too high will it steal the water from the roots, causing dehydration, which is called root burning. The principal component of sea salt is sodium chloride, while the remaining portion consists of other trace minerals. These trace minerals mostly include potassium, calcium, and magnesium, which are found in natural seawater. The commercial sea salts in the market may vary in their chemical composition as the harvesting place and method change. However, the ion composition of natural saltwater is relatively stable. Sea salt is an excellent option for many usage areas like bath salts or body scrubs, but whether you use sea salt or table salt in your diet does not make any difference in terms of health, when the recommended daily intake is considered the same. However, sea salt is still an excellent seasoning product for those who prefer it.
Hi, this is Young Sang Cho, the president of Jadam. A lot of people faces confusion while studying agriculture because of nitrogen, phosphoric acid, potassium, calcium, sulfur, magnesium, boron, cobalt, manganese, molybdenum, germanium, and selenium, which is needed in farming. People often talk about balancing these elements to be a successful farmer. And today, I'm going to talk about calcium and boron in this video. These are the vegetables that I grew from my farm, which is the most high quality of all time, and also even higher yield while not using chemical fertilizers. I do organic farm with 60 different kinds of vegetables every year, and I never did foliar application with boron and calcium. It's because it simply works without it, and even as a compost. Most of people often talks about balancing those components. However, once you try to balance it element by element, there is no answer but only trouble. You can choose the easy path, but those information leads people to spend more money. Is it just me who is not focusing on balance of NPK-CAB? No. We have about 60,000 members who are using Jada method, and many of them are doing same as me.
Fish hydrolysate fertilizer is cold processed using natural beneficial cultures, retaining the proteins, amino acids, fats, oils, and trace elements in a bioavailable state. Liquid fish hydrolysate fertilizer benefits: increases fungal biomass, feeds beneficial microorganisms, delivers organic minerals, improves plant root development, aids soil moisture holding abilities.
Seaweeds or macroalgae belong to the lower plants, meaning that they do not have roots, stems, and leaves. Instead, they are composed of a thallus, leaf-like, and sometimes a stem and a foot. Some species have gas-filled structures to provide buoyancy. They are subdivided in 3 groups: the red, green, and brown macroalgae. Because seaweed is rich in micro and macronutrients, humic acids, and phytohormones, it enhances soil fertility. In addition, seaweed-derived fertilizers contain polysaccharides, proteins, and fatty acids, which improve the moisture and nutrient retention of soil, contributing to improved crop growth. Advantages of liquid seaweed fertilizer. Here's why pro gardener love liquid seaweed fertilizer. Boosts plant growth, thanks to cytokinins, gibberellins, and auxins. Expect to see some happy, flourishing plants. Enhances soil health. It's not just good for plants, it improves soil structure too, making it a win-win. Rich in micronutrients, plants love these tiny yet mighty nutrients, and liquid seaweed's got plenty of them. promotes root growth. Strong roots mean strong plants, and this fertilizer is a champion in stimulating root development. Disadvantages of liquid seaweed fertilizer. While liquid seaweed fertilizer is fantastic, there are a couple of things to keep in mind. Cost. Quality comes with a price. It's more expensive than your average fertilizer. Shelf life. It's not the kind of thing you buy in bulk and forget about. Use it up while it's fresh and effective. NPK ratio. It's low in NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, so you might need to supplement it with other fertilizers for balanced nutrition. Green seaweed, as the most abundant species of macro seaweeds, is an important marine biological resource. It is a rich source of several amino acids, fatty acids, and dietary fibers, as well as polysaccharides, polyphenols, pigments, and other active substances, which have crucial roles in various biological processes such as antioxidant activity, immunoregulation, and anti-inflammatory response. Algae are photosynthetic organisms that grow in a range of aquatic habitats, including lakes, ponds, rivers, oceans, and even wastewater. They can tolerate a wide range of temperatures, salinities, and pH values, different light intensities, and conditions in reservoirs or deserts, and can grow alone or in symbiosis with other organisms. 1. Algae are broadly classified as rhodophyta, red algae, phaeophyta, brown algae, and chlorophyta, green algae, and classified by size as macroalgae or microalgae. Macroalgae, seaweed, are multicellular, large-size algae, visible with the naked eye, while microalgae are microscopic single cells and may be prokaryotic, similar to cyanobacteria, chloroxybacteria, or eukaryotic, similar to green algae, chlorophyta. Plant polysaccharides play a crucial role in plant growth and development by serving as structural components, energy storage, and signaling molecules, contributing to the overall health and vitality of plants. Seaweed is rich in micro and macronutrients, humic acids, and phytohormones. It enhances soil fertility. In addition, seaweed-derived fertilizers contain polysaccharides, proteins, and fatty acids, which improve the moisture and nutrient retention of soil, contributing to improved crop growth. Protein content in seaweed varies by species, season, and geographic location, and can be as high as 45% DW. The contents of peptids, proteins, or amino acids in seaweed are affected by seasonal fluctuations and habitat. In general, red algae have larger concentrations, up to 47%, than green algae, around 9 and 26%. While brown algae have low amounts, 3 to 15%. The beneficial effects of seaweed are mostly due to the presence of minerals, vitamins, phenols, polysaccharides, and sterols, as well as several other bioactive compounds. These compounds seem to have antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, antimicrobial, and anti-diabetic activities. Marine macroalgae, sometimes known as seaweeds, are microscopic, multicellular, photosynthetic eukaryotic creatures. Based on their coloration and depending on their taxonomic classification, they can be classified into 3 groups: Rhodophyta, red, Phaeophyceae, brown, and Chlorophyta, green. Extracts obtained from macroalgae has several economic importance in agriculture as soil fertilizer, growth stimulants. Carnitol, 2009, enhanced seed germination and plant growth, root development, increased yield and quality of vegetables like cucumber, tomato, broccoli, spinach and bean, and also increases post-harvest shelf life. Hernandez Herrera et al., 2014. Macroalgae extracts enhance crops' tolerance towards environment stress. Zhong and Schmidt, 2000, particularly enhanced drought stress, increase nutrient uptake from soil and antioxidant properties of the plants, Turan and Coes, 2004. Important source of polysaccharides, phenolic compounds. Osmolites such as mannitol and also phytohormones including abscisic acid, auxins, brassinosteroids, cytokinins, and gibberellins are found in seaweeds, Bhattacharya et al., 2015. T. Seaweed fertilizer, or fertilizer, is organic fertilizer made from seaweed that is used in agriculture to increase soil fertility and plant growth. The use of seaweed fertilizer dates back to antiquity and has a broad array of benefits for soils. The seaweed foliar spray can be sprayed directly onto the leaves. Make sure to spray sparingly to avoid damaging your plant. A little goes a long way. Seaweed fertilizers can greatly improve soil and plant health and growth, providing a fantastic alternative to conventional synthetic fertilizers. Seaweed extract. Concentrate, 28% WW, is an organic biostimulant manufactured through globally patented process technology from red and brown marine algae. The product has naturally occurring plant growth regulators such as auxins, cytokinins, and gibberellins, essential amino acids, macro and micronutrients. Methionine is a precursor to ethylene and other growth-related compounds, playing a vital role in plant growth and development. Tryptophan, it is a precursor to auxins. Proline can help protect plants from damage due to drought, salinity, freezing and heavy metal toxicity. Arginine play a vital role in nitrogen storage and can boost plants' immune response. Glutamic acid and glycine stimulates root cells to open calcium ion channels, allowing plants to take up calcium ions thousands to millions of times than simple osmosis. There will come a time when only those that know how to plant will be eating. Chief Oran Lions. If you like African food systems content, please subscribe and share our channel with your friends and family, or if you're new here, hit the subscribe button so you make sure to never miss our weekly presentation podcast. Agriculture is tool to create health, wealth, shelter, protect environment, food, nutrition and basic skills development for our local communities.